Hello, this is James Ezrack, and I'm reporting with Coog News. Today we're going to be talking about Libya. Libya is a country in northern Africa that has had a lot of turmoil recently in the region. It's been very unstable because they're in the process of a civil war. There are many different factions rivaling for position and rivaling in order to get control of Libya. And in the midst of this, there are reporters who are trying to cover the news that are happening, and they're having troubles doing so because of the violence in the region. And now to talk more about that, we have Darius Porter.
Thanks, James. So in recent news in Libya, violence has been rapidly escalating, limiting civilians' ability to travel in and out of Libya's capital. Excuse me. An airstrike on Tripoli's international airport Monday and other recent clashes have now forced some 3,400 people to leave their homes, according to the UN's Humanitarian Affairs Office. Clashes with heavy weapons are affecting residential areas. An unknown additional number of civilians are unable to flee these locations. The fighting intensified over the weekend as soldiers loyal to Khalifa Haftar, the former army chief who now leads the Libyan National Army, neared the capital. Haftar, who was aligned with Gaddafi, regime loyalist who has amassed power and resources in eastern Libya. Last week, he launched an offensive to the west, aiming to take control of the capital. And that's all the violence news we have for this week. Tiffany?
Thank you, Darius and James. So my name is Tiffany Mai, and going off of like the violence of what you guys mentioned before, there are a lot of the violences are connected to a lot of the loyalties that are happening currently in Libya. As for example, Ben Khalifa is a 35-year-old photographer who was killed on January 19th, according to the United Nations support mission in Libya. And he died from wounds from shrapnel while accompanying a militia known as the Tripoli Protection Force, which is loyal to the Tripoli-based UN-backed government of national accord. So these violences, like these occurrences, are linked to who you're loyal to in these factions. And so Libya's uprising in 2011, at least 12 journalists were killed in relation to their work, and 10 were photographers or camera operators, according to CPJ research. So these violences are definitely linked to, as Darius mentioned before and James mentioned before, that these factions and their loyalties. Okay, thank you. And anything else you have to say, Taylor?
So there were 91 documented cases of threats and assaults against journalists from 2012 to 2014. And we might not have an exact number, but they are going up. That has led to a recent seminar that was actually in February. It was for the structural and legal reform of media sector in Libya. It was hosted by the Libyan Center for Freedom of Press. And also, it was really interesting to find out that the Reporters Without Borders, which is an organization that is international, it is what reporters use to scale, other reporting companies on how they have freedom and how they are able to say what they want to say without political pressure. And Libya is ranked 160 out of 170. That's all I got. Moving on.
Hi, my name is Carla Madrid, and since the end of the Libyan revolution in 2011, violence against the press and violence against journalists has increased. Reporters Without Borders have reported numerous attacks against journalists, physical attacks, abductions, acts of harassment, and all are targeting journalists. Even though Libya is not part of the Committee to Protect Journalists list of 2015 as the top 10 most censored countries of the world, the press there is still very restricted. The list was based on research of laws that harass journalists, imprisonment of journalists, and also the internet restriction within the country. According to Reporters Without Borders, almost 25% of attacks against journalists have been attributed to the government force. Thank you, that is all.
Hi, my name is Heaven Wallace. Now, as of 2011, the poverty rate in Libya has skyrocketed. At least 1/3 of Libyan of the Libyan population is impoverished and 30% are unemployed. Now, this has a lot to do with the militias actually bartering a lot of that money that is garnered by Libya due to the oil that they export to countries like the UK and the United States. And with this, a lot of reporters have tried to speak on the matter, but due to the lack of freedom of press in Libya, they have been executed, especially within the factions across the Libyan country.
All
And
right. All right. Well, let's hope the situation in Libya gets better. That's all we have for you guys. This is James Ezernak signing off on Coug News.